If you could explain the project Love/Life Over Vain Experiences.
It was a coincidence, but it was just funny how everything happened. On my own project, I was like, I'm saying to myself, I wanted to write a love letter to God. And then when I started rapping with Q, he was working on a piece and he was writing a letter from the perspective of God, writing a letter to mankind. And when we had first started talking, it made sense for us to just put these together, you know, and just hit them.
So how did you guys meet?
The first time I met Q, I was playing with Joe Robinson, trumpet player, Mike Winston, and we was playing at, what was it, Christopher's?
Yeah, Christopher's restaurant.
Yeah. We was playing at Christopher's, and that was the first time I ran into what I met Q. The guy started playing, like when he first started playing, I was like, yo, dude, I haven't heard anybody around here that's playing on that level, and then actually we're playing instinctively without having to be, you know, giving each other directions or whatever. We just, you know, and then from there, it was just like, boom, bam.
Shout out to Joe Robinson.
Yeah.
What exactly is this this whole Boanerges piece that I keep hearing about? What is it and what does it mean?
Boanerges, biblically speaking, it means sons of thunder. And Jesus actually called the Apostle James and the Apostle John, who were brothers. He called them Boanerges, meaning the sons of thunder. And he called them that because they had like real violent tempers. And so on one hand, it was like him speaking to, you know what I'm saying, that natural piece of him. But you know that everything Jesus did, he did it for a reason. He was really saying how once they really began to get a hold of the gospel, and really the biggest thing was a hold of the destiny that he had placed inside of them, that they would take that same thing that was bad in the natural and turn it around for good in the realm of the supernatural. So they would be sons of thunder to tear down Satan's kingdom. So similar to, you know what I'm saying, James and John, because we both got a little bit of James and John in us. You know what I mean? We sons of thunder.
Cool.
And the cool thing about knowing B is we both face like a similar kind of thing. Being first off, we're both juniors. You know what I'm saying? Sons of preachers. And then we're both musicians. So it's like we, you know what I'm saying, like both of our lives like took similar paths in that. We were brought up right, you know what I mean? And then you know, like most people who were really called by God, like we didn't really want to, you know what I'm saying, listen to the call and do what God called us to do. And then God put our backs up against the wall and was like, yeah, homie, you're gonna do this. And it's actually turned out to be the most awesome thing because Christianity is not born. Like Christianity is actually like the real thing. It's actually the most off the chain baller move you can make. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, as far as like our testimony, we got similar testimonies in that the whole time we was out in the world trying to make our musical gifts like fit, you know what I'm saying, like in different places. It's like, I know we talk about this quite a bit, like people would say, you know what I'm saying, what he playing ain't sound right. People would say what I was playing ain't sound right. And it wasn't that it didn't sound right holistically, it just wasn't supposed to be played in that particular context. It was supposed to come to its completion, you know what I'm saying, doing it for God first. And then, you know what I mean, we're able to, you know, contribute it to other circles. It doesn't make any sense that, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to be saved and we're supposed to have all of this infinity inside of us and we only play in church. Like, that's dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, so, I know I'm kind of preaching.
No, dude, go ahead.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like that's basically, you know I mean? Like where our head is at. It's like, yo, we Levites, and we completely understand that, and so we making this music. Like we ain't making music. We for all you know what I'm saying, Sadducees and Pharisees. We purposely, the music sound the way it sound, because this is how God has given it to us. Like we're making songs that we want people who are strippers, we want people who are drug dealers, we want people, you know what I'm saying, who are down and out to listen to the music. Some sounds people don't necessarily identify with, because like you as a church person, there's certain sounds that you don't identify with. It's not the sound that you should be looking for anyway. It should be the anointing or the unction or the power of God or something. So like, that's basically where our head is at, you know what I mean? Like this particular project is like R&B, hip hop kind of iteration, but we're both jazz musicians. So before I say too much, on the next project, you know what I mean? That's all you need to know. But yeah, man, yeah, that's all. We just dealing with the plight of musicians, like what cats be dealing with. There's plenty of church musicians out there, and the reason how come that people say what you're saying, what you're playing is wrong, and the reason how come, you know what I'm saying, it just don't make any sense is because you're playing an original sound straight from the throne room of God. And what you need to do is you don't need to give up, or you don't need to leave the church, you know what I'm saying, and go make hot beats for some corny pop artist. You don't need to do that. You need to get along with God and be like, all right, God, you done gave me this weird sound. Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? And you just continue to cultivate your identity in God, like your auditory identity. You AI, bro. So own it.